She sees a federal prosecutor on the stage. I'll beat her rear end on that stage. And you know what? After I do, she'll be relieved because she'll just be worried I was going to serve her with a subpoena. It'll be a relief just to lose the debate.
All right, Donald who? Christie lighting up the airwaves, and no doubt the responses from the Clinton campaign with those choice remarks earlier today at a town hall meeting. Without further ado, the Republican presidential candidate joining us from New Jersey right now, Governor Christie. Or I should say, New Hampshire. I apologize. Governor, all right, do you regret those remarks?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
All right.
That's exactly what we're going to do on stage. We're going to make sure that she gets the rhetorical beating she deserves for her lies on Benghazi, for her lies on the emails, for her awful foreign policy in Libya and all around the world. Hillary Clinton needs to be held to account, and I'm going to hold her to account better than anybody on that stage could. All
right, so you're going to hear those who are going to say that's not the proper language you use in a town hall forum. You say what?
I say everybody should stop being so politically correct. You know, I was having fun there, as was the crowd, as you could hear. And believe me, if she is too sensitive to take that, then she's too sensitive to be president of the United States, and I don't think that's the case. Hillary Clinton has been accused of a lot of things over time. Being too sensitive is not one of them.
All right. We have not heard from her camp, sir, so maybe much ado about nothing. But in the meantime, you've probably heard the dust up today with Donald Trump wanting a redo in Iowa, saying that there have been enough issues raised with Ted Cruz and how he was working on his supporters on lines at the caucuses that something weird is going on, and redo the vote. What do you think?
Listen, I don't think we need to redo the Iowa vote. I know Donald is really upset that he lost and that he told everybody he was going to win, and he lost, and I know he's upset about that. But we're on to New Hampshire now, Neil. I'm in New Hampshire. Iowa's in the rearview mirror, and we're moving on to the first-in-the-nation primary on Tuesday.
All right, but he's actually going a little further than that. As a prosecutor, a pretty good lawyer in your own right, the Donald is saying Ted Cruz didn't win Iowa. He was tweeting this. He stole it. That is why all the polls were so wrong and why he got far more votes than anticipated. Bad. What do you think?
Listen, I just think it's a lot of complaining after the fact. And it doesn't get you anywhere. Move on to the next contest and win the next one, and then you won't worry about the last one.
All right. Were you disappointed? I know you didn't put all the emphasis and all the eggs in the Iowa basket, but were you disappointed by your performance and the fact you hoped to have been the best performing governor there? You weren't. I think you were ahead of Gilmore, but that was about it. Do you feel that that's a bad harbinger of things to come for New Hampshire?
No, listen, all of us were at 2%. Jeb Bush was at 3%. Between the super PAC that has been supportive of my candidacy and our campaign, we spent about $500,000 in Iowa, and we got 2%. Jeb Bush spent $15 million, and he got 3%. So I think it'd be much better off to be where I sit than where he does.
You know, Governor, you've probably heard as well that Rand Paul is out of the race. Mike Huckabee is out of the race. Rick Santorum presumably will be out of the race. Do you pick up, or you think you should pick up, any of their voters?
I think we will. I think there are going to be a whole bunch of now voters from Santorum, Huckabee, and Rand Paul who are looking for a new home. And we want to offer them the home of someone who's experienced, who's ready to go, who's made tough decisions, who's been through difficult times, and who knows how to manage and run a government. They do not want to go to a first-term United States senator who has never run a thing, who doesn't answer questions, who does drive-by town hall meetings. They want to go to someone who can fight Hillary Clinton and beat her, and I'm the best person left on that stage to do it.
You know, Governor, we opened up with your comments today referencing Hillary Clinton, but they come little more than, I think, 24 hours after you referred to Marco Rubio as a boy in the bubble. You said it's time for him to man up, step up, and stop letting all of his handlers write his speeches and handle him. Maybe he'll answer more than 2 or 3 questions in a town hall meeting. His people get back to me and says, does he realize that we answer a lot of questions at a town hall meeting and no one handles Marco Rubio but Marco Rubio? You say what?
I say that his town hall meetings run on average 40 to 45 minutes. Our town hall meetings run 2 hours. That we've answered over 1,100 questions, and Senator Rubio barely answers any. And by the way, he acts like the King of England. He has a press aide stand next to him and pre-select which reporters will get to ask him questions. I mean, you know, this is a guy who's been protected and coddled his entire political career. So it's time for him to come out of the bubble. The boy needs to come out of the bubble, and he needs to get to work here in New Hampshire. We've done 3 times the number of events he's done, and he hasn't worked this hard. He didn't work hard here at all. And so if he wants to come out and earn people's vote, he needs to come out and earn their vote. We need to know that anyone who's competing for this nomination is going to be able to go toe-to-toe with Hillary Clinton. And his 60-second memorized speeches, all of which we've heard over and over and over again for the last 6 years, are getting a little stale and a little tired. And Senator Rubio needs to come up with some new material and needs to start answering questions. The boy needs to come out of the bubble.
All right, why is he a boy in a bubble and a guy about his age, actually a little younger, Ted Cruz, is nowhere on your radar?
Well, Senator Cruz answers questions. Senator Cruz gets into the scrum and answers questions. Now, I may not agree with some of his answers sometimes, but he does that, and Senator Rubio simply does not. And it's just an observation from watching the 2 of them on the trail now for the last year. Senator Rubio has had a strategy. Don't offend. Don't work too hard in any one particular place. Don't be exposed too much. It sounds like he's in the witness protection program. It's time for him to come out, time to get the boy out of the bubble, and time to come out and start fighting for votes. No one's going to hand anybody this nomination. You're going to have to come and fight for it. Senator Cruz has shown he's willing to fight for it. And by the way, Senator Cruz has won something. He won the Iowa caucuses. Marco Rubio came in 3rd place when he was expected to come in 3rd place. And there's some people in the media who are acting like this was some great triumph.
Well, it was a lot better than
third. He came in third.
His 23% performance was a lot better than expected, right?
Well, but Neil, is that a testimony on the polls or not? His 23% didn't get him from 3rd to 2nd. His 23% kept him in 3rd, where everybody thought he was going to be from the beginning.
But
so
why is he the focus
then?
I'm sorry, sir. Why is he the focus of a lot of your attacks? This seems to be a recent phenomenon.
Because the media has already tried to anoint him as the person who is going to be one of the last 3 people in this primary race. And there should be no anointing by the media. And if they're doing that, what I want to remind them of is that this is a guy who has not answered questions. This is a guy who does drive-by town hall meetings. This is a guy who is so tightly controlled by his own staff that he doesn't even call on the reporters who he wants to ask him questions. A staff person who has pre-screened the questions calls on the reporters. I mean, this is ridiculous.
You know, to be fair, and
so
he's not here now.
Let's get with it.
He's not here, Governor, but we did sort of study this at his town hall meetings. He takes an average of 20 questions. That may vary by town hall, but he takes 20 questions. But whatever. You know,
Neil, he's in and out there. Neil, okay. He's in and out of there in 45 minutes. That means that the average answer, you know, with all the rest of the stuff, and he does give an opening and a closing statement, the average answer is about the average answer that he does in a debate. Well, you know, 60-second answers aren't going to solve America's problems. I agree with Senator Rubio. He said a few weeks ago that America's problems won't be solved by senators and congressmen, and I think he's absolutely right.
Well, that's slightly out of context, though, right? He was talking about the battle back and forth between governors and senators. You think governors are better comported to deal with crises, not senators, right? Yeah.
Well, and by the way, what Senator Rubio was talking about in that context also was that senators and congressmen are not solving problems in Washington, D.C., yet the institution that has a 13% approval rating, Senator Rubio wants to be promoted from that institution that 87% of the people in the country don't think is doing their job to the presidency. I don't think that's the right way to go, and that's why I'm pushing the candidacy that we're pushing here.
Do you have to win New Hampshire, Governor?
No.
What's good enough?
Listen, we'll see as we get closer to the weekend and we get through the debate, but I think the important thing is for us to do very well, to meet or exceed expectations, and I think when people see our results on Tuesday night, they're going to be very happy, somewhat surprised, and understand that this is now a race going forward where the governor of New Jersey is going to be right in the middle of it, fighting with Donald Trump and Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio and anybody else who survives on Tuesday night.
All right, does that mean at worst 3rd, Governor? That if you get worse than 3rd, then you're in trouble? Because, again, the polls are all over the map, and it is tight between the 4 who are locked between 3rd and 6th, where you are right now, between 2 points, like you say, and even in Iowa, by a difference of 2,000 votes, it could have been a move of 4 places. But if you're worse than 3rd, are you okay with that?
I'm okay with doing the very best that we can do, Neil, and we'll be able to make that evaluation then rather. We're not now going to either write the victory speech or the obituary speech. We'll wait till Tuesday night to see what happens.
All right. John Kasich, your Ohio governor rival, had said if he does not do well here again, he didn't put a number to it, then he would have to consider leaving the race. So you don't have any back sort of number or place where you would have to reassess things.
I'd agree with John. If he doesn't do well, he's going to have to leave the race. If I don't do well, I'd have to leave the race. I mean, I've made no secret of the fact that New Hampshire was a big, important key to my candidacy for president. So that's no secret. But I don't think you could pick a particular place at the moment.
All right. Now, if you do well in New Hampshire, are you poised? Do you have the structure in place, the ground game in place to continue that in the southern states, the SEC states, et cetera?
We have staff in South Carolina ready to go, Neil, who have been working hard down there. We're sending more staff now to South Carolina to prepare for that primary, and we will be ready off a good performance on Tuesday night in New Hampshire to head right to South Carolina, get on the plane, fly right there, and get right to work in South Carolina. You know, you probably heard Scott Brown supporting Donald Trump. I know he hosted a backyard barbecue with you as well. He did with all the candidates. Were you disappointed that he didn't throw his support to you? Well, listen, I like to get every endorsement that I possibly can, but more importantly, I actually got an endorsement today from someone who's won elections in New Hampshire. The Speaker of the House in New Hampshire, every Republican candidate courted him, and Speaker Jasper today endorsed my candidacy. The Speaker of the House, the person who leads all the House Republicans, and every Republican candidate courted Speaker Jasper. He came out and endorsed me today. And so, listen, I'm always disappointed. I like Scott. Scott and his family are wonderful people, and Mary Pat and I have been very friendly with them over time, but I'm not disappointed that he endorsed Donald Trump. I mean, the fact is that Scott lost his race here in New Hampshire last year, hasn't won a race since 2010, so I don't know exactly what kind of impact he would have, but good for Donald. He got that endorsement, good for him. I'll take Speaker Jasper's endorsement, somebody who is governing right now and has a great deal of influence inside New Hampshire. All right. Well, you certainly no shortage of time spent in the state. I think 66 days at the very least. 155 events, probably more since we've just been talking here, endorsed by the area's two most conservative newspapers. So on paper, you've got a lot of backing, a lot of support, and still struggling in the polls. Is there a disconnect between all your hard work, like the Energizer Bunny that you've been in the state, and so far it's not popping through, or are others getting too much attention? Well, listen, Donald Trump's gotten disproportionately more attention than anyone. And so, that's part of what affects everybody in terms of the polls. But let's remember how wrong the polls were in Iowa. The polls had Donald Trump winning by 5 points. Absolutely. He lost by 4. They were 9 points off. They had Marco Rubio, I think, at 15. He wound up getting 23%. So the polls have been really notoriously bad of late. And I can tell you, Neil, when I was chairman of the RGA, we had at least 4 different governor's races where our last poll showed our candidate losing by anywhere from 2 to 5 points, and every one of those candidates won. So, the fact is that polling is becoming more and more difficult in a world where people are using more cell phones than landlines and all the rest. So I'm not worried about what the polling says. I will tell you, we have the best organization on the ground here in New Hampshire. I've spent more time here than anybody else, and we're going to work real hard between now and Tuesday. And then Tuesday night, you and I could talk about whether we met expectations, exceeded them, or fell a little bit short. Fair enough. Are you worried that Adele is angry at you? And I don't know if I got this right. Your staff isn't trying to clarify with me that she was apparently sending out an order, cease and desist, to your camp, to Donald Trump's camp, to Mike Huckabee's camp. Don't use my songs in any way, shape, or form in anything you're doing politically. Now, what I've got to get clear is she talking about, in your case, something you used in a tweet response to Marco Rubio earlier last month, or something you've done since? What's going on? No, I think it's the Marco Rubio reference with the song Hello. I think that's what Adele was concerned about. And if Adele doesn't want us to use that any longer, we definitely won't. We want to respect her copyright and want to respect her ability to control her music. And so if she doesn't want us to use it, even in a joking way, I've told the campaign no more using it. Is that the legal response, or just that's your personal view that if she doesn't want it, then it shouldn't be done? Both. All right. So if she's saying that, Neil. If she said it's a very nice song, if
if she is making a statement, because if Democrats have used the song, if she has not responded to them, she jumps over Republicans, would make you think differently of her as an artist.
Well, listen, it's no shock that many artists lean much more to the Democratic Party than to the Republican Party, but she has the right to have whatever opinion she wants. It's her music, and I've told the staff no more using Adele's music. Adele doesn't want to use it, that's fine. We'll use John Bon Jovi's music. John's fine with us using it.
Yeah, he's even offered you a job at Le Tambourine in the band, because it's still open, right?
Exactly right. That offer is still open, from what I understand, yes.
All right, Governor, thank you very much. If she